And that is going to free up your workers to do whatever they want, wherever they are. Mobile workers, virtual office, we've talked about it. That's it. And now let's say, you might say, well, in virtual office, I lose control of my people. I don't know where they are. Not anymore. I mean, you can have video discussion. You can see, hey, I want to see where you are right now. Turn on the video, right? You can see them. That's where the puck is going. So, in short, I think you're going to see a lot of changes, a lot of technologies coming your way. But what I would recommend is keep looking at the industry, keep watching, stay in touch with your industry, stay in touch with your market, see where it's going so that you know where the trends are and you can respond effectively before your competitors figure it out. Therein lies the opportunity. Now, let me share a little bit with you the secrets of what I think. I mean, they're not secrets. I think if you read management books, these are no secrets. But I want to reinforce that and probably give my perspective as well, how I think you should look at how to run a business and all that stuff. So, like all businesses, 10 years ago, I started by myself, right? Didn't have an office, didn't have a garage, worked in a garage. And actually, it's funny kind of the way it started. I was working in a company as a director. I was scheduled to be promoted to the vice president in that company. And we were in the middle of the recession. My wife had just gotten pregnant with her first child. And I come home to my wife and says, honey, I'm quitting. He says, what, you're crazy? But that's kind of the entrepreneurial seizure you sometimes get, where every cell in your body says, I can make a difference. I can be great. I can be the best. And that's the good thing about entrepreneurs, is that we have that burning desire to make a difference. And we all start out with that, but somewhere along the way, that passion fades. Somewhere along the way, we get caught up in the business itself rather than looking at the big picture with which we all started. And that's hopefully today, I want to share with you how you can keep that passion alive, how you can keep going with the dream, the vision with which you started the business. With that, the first thing I think you need to have it very clearly in your head is, what is the vision? What is that big picture that you started on? What do you want the company to be? What does vision mean? The vision means, where do you want to be? And what do you want? And how do you know when you get there? I don't know if you guys have ever put together a puzzle. If you're putting together a puzzle, what is one thing that's the most helpful? The picture, right? If you have the picture, you know kind of, okay, this piece goes there, this piece goes there, you can assemble it in a matter of minutes. If you don't have the picture, you won't. If you can't put that puzzle together without knowing the picture, imagine what your employees are. They are pieces of that puzzle. If they don't know what your big picture is, how are they going to do? The vision is that big picture that lets you have clarity. That's what I want, but more importantly, have your employees the clarity. It's what I am doing today, how does that contribute to the overall vision for the company? I think it's very clear that as businesses, we clearly define what that vision is. And along with that, have a strategy that is bold enough that where you are really kind of upping the ante on the competition and really making some things that where you're stretching yourself. And that, I think, is one thing that all business owners need to have. Once you have a vision in place, I think one of the things you need to do to get to where you ultimately want to end up in 3 to 5 years is to start challenging goals for what you're going to do today, this month, this quarter, this year. And the key word there is challenging. And the reason I say challenging is because, a lot of times I see that the companies, they get old. Not because their owner is old, the people in the company are old, but because you set your goals a little bit lower, and you set the bar a little bit lower than what you can aim for. And once you start setting the bar lower, that's when the aging sets in. That's when you become old. And in order for you to stay a young, vibrant company, it's very critical that you keep setting the bar higher and higher. And what it does is it motivates your people to stretch themselves. And once your people, as your organization starts stretching themselves, they realize things that they never thought they could achieve. That's the power there. But another thing I see in a lot of organizations is they set the goals, but don't measure. If you don't measure, I mean, can you imagine, like, let's say you're the owner of a football team or any team, and you go to the ball field and the game is going on, and you don't know kind of, are we winning, are we losing? Because nobody's keeping the score. But worse yet, can you imagine how your players are feeling on the ground? They're putting in all this effort, but they don't know, are we winning, are we losing, where are we, how are we measuring up? So it's key. What I would recommend is see what are the key metrics in your organization that you should keep. What are those key metrics that drive the success in your business, that let you know that whether you're succeeding or whether you're losing. So very critical, I think. Now that you have the vision, you have the strategy in place, the next thing in order to make those goals into a reality is you need to have the best team. You need to have the right people in your organization who you can turn back and walk away and have the confidence and the trust that they will execute. And let me tell you this, if you think that magically that Messiah is going to appear somewhere who's going to free you from that, let me tell you guys the news. That Messiah doesn't exist. You have to make that Messiah in your company. You have to work with that person day in, day out, and help that person get to where you want him to. I mean, I'll share with you a story. Kind of, I was, until a couple of years ago, I don't think I was there either. But then I spent time and effort and cultivated and coached and mentored the persons that I wanted to be able to take over my job. And today, I mean, like this year, we took a 2-week trip to Europe. I mean, this last quarter was our best quarter ever. We had great success. But those 2 weeks, I didn't make a single phone call. I didn't send a single email. I had the peace of mind that things were getting taken care of in the business while I'm gone. What that does is it frees you up to look at the bigger picture and see, okay, where do I want to take the company? And that's what I think a lot of businesses, we need to make sure that we are hiring the best people. The best people, let me tell you this, they're not cheap because, I mean, for the caliber of people that can take over and give you the peace of mind, they need to be of the same caliber as you. So think of this. Would you work for somebody for the same salary? If the answer is no, then probably that's not the right person. Keep looking. The last is, I think, this, not last, but one of the key things where I think a lot of business owners struggle as well is not having the processes in place. And what that does is, I mean, that gives the impression of a company that doesn't have its act together. Can you imagine a customer who interacts with you on a daily basis, but doesn't see him in this company, doesn't see him to stumbling over and over again? Would I want to do business with that company? No. One of the good examples is, I think of McDonald's, right? Great company, great franchise, but who do they put on the front window? High school graduate, right? Or sometimes not even that. Why is that successful? Why is McDonald's successful? Because behind that high school graduate, there's a training process that makes sure that particular, before he has that first interaction with the customer, he spends enough training to be successful so he can execute, he can do what he needs to be done. So make sure each and every process, especially the customer-facing processes, that they are very well documented, so that you can bring a high school graduate and be able to say, okay, just follow this step, this step, this step, and you will get the same end result as the guy who has spent 10 years with the company does. That's what you need to do. That's how customers see that this is a company that got its act together. And then It's all about delivering. You can, you can do everything. You can have the great vision, great strategy, great everything. But if you're not making your customers satisfied, if you're not delivering on what you promised, if you're delivering when you promised and how you promised to your customers, they will not come back to you. So take great care of customers. I'll tell you, especially existing customers, because it's the tendency of the business owner that we tend to go for new business owners, new businesses. And we tend to forget all those existing business owners, existing customers that really are bringing in 80% of our business. Why are we not paying attention to them? And then what happens? One fine day, they say, oh, this guy's not paying attention to me. I'm going to leave. I got somebody else who can take care of me. In recession especially, there's a lot of people who are knocking on your customers' doors. Take good care of them. Make sure that they are hearing from you as a CEO. Kind of put a calendar appointment, maybe a couple of hours a week, to call your customers and just say, hey, how are we doing? It keeps you grounded to the business, especially as you start growing and all this stuff. It is very, very important. And I'll tell you this, your customers are the source of your best ideas because they are seeing kind of what's happening in the market. Where are we stumbling? Where is everything? They can guide you where you need to go. I'll tell you from our standpoint, when we started out, we were in a services business. We really didn't, we said, okay, well, you want this service? We'll give you the service. Then the customer said, well, I would rather have a solution from you. So they said, sure. And we all listened to the customer and said, okay, well, here is a bunch of services and we can put together a solution for you. And that they liked that. Then it says, well, guess what? You guys are doing really good with the solutions. How about you guys do kind of entire systems itself, which has multiple solutions that are lumped into it, and then we give them a turnkey package. And we evolved as a company to fill that need. Listen to your customers. Very critical, I think, as a business owners. Sometimes we forget, and sometimes we get away from reality as well. Is stay in touch with your customers. Listen to them because they are a source of your growth as well as ideas. Now, and this I think is very important in terms of making sure that we are innovating as a company, making sure that we really striving. Now, innovation doesn't mean that you have to come up with this great idea. That innovation means that are you doing better than what you were doing yesterday, last month, last year? If you are, you're innovating, I think. And innovation today is really not that difficult. I was in China last couple of months ago, and if you have an idea, just you think, this is the thing I want to develop, just put that idea down and go to this website, Alibaba.com, and just say, hey, this is what I want to develop. And you will have hundreds of companies bidding on your idea. You don't have to develop it. You don't have to be the top-notch engineer or top-notch manufacturing facility. You don't have to have. You can have somebody else doing that for you, and you just be the sales and marketing guy. That's the power of the global innovation that's coming. And I think from that standpoint, but make sure you're continually looking at how can I innovate, how can I get better, how can I be faster, better, cheaper, smarter. If you're not asking those questions of your organization, likelihood is your competitor is going to pass you by. So don't sit on your laurels. And you might have a good customer today, but the competition might steal them away tomorrow. So think about that as well. Now, I guess, what's the best time to grow? That's a question, right? How many of you think that booming economy is the best time to grow? Yep, that definitely is a great time to grow. There's a lot of opportunities out there and all that stuff. How many of you think that this stagnant economy is the best time to grow? Why do you think that?
It's a perfect opportunity to grab market share. When you're in a booming economy and you're trying to grow, you're probably going to be installing infrastructure just in time for a downturn.